Hello, everyone. Welcome into a little bit of a different looking impact of the next three rounds today. No Jamie for you, but we do have myself and Nathan. How are you, Nath?
How are you, brother?
Yeah, not too bad. Been nice and patient with me trying to get this organised. It's a learning experience and trying to make sure we've got everything here. So, by all means, if we've messed anything up, let us know in the comments. We'll learn with this one over the next 3 weeks, and if there's anything we need to do, more than happy with the constructive criticism. Okay. So we'll go over the teams and their next three rounds here today. Have a look at the sort of best teams, maybe to target and ones to avoid. Then we'll jump over to the people's team, have a look at that, see if there's anything that we can do in that one. Doing pretty well, but I think we can probably get a little bit better. I had to scroll through the private team a little bit to find it. So that one's on all of us. We've got to pick that one up. And then finally, we might have a look at tipping, and then you guys can decide whether you want to listen to us, because we've both discussed how tricky it's been this year to try and pick some of these previous games. So we'll give our advice best as we can. How's that sound, Nath?
Oh, sounds good to me, brother. I'm keen.
Nothing's gospel here. We're just doing our best. So
Yeah.
we'll kick off with the Titans. That's a team that we both were a little bit keen on. We both think they've got a pretty good run, so you can have a look here. They've got St George. Make sure that's the right team, Canberra, and Cowboys over the next three. What are we thinking there, Nate?
I like it. I really like their run, but as I was sort of talking to you earlier, I like their strike players for those sort of matchups. So problem is a lot of their strike players are pretty high priced at the moment. So one I'm really keeping my eye on because he's dropped quite a lot is Fafita's minutes because they've sort of slow rolled him back in. But yeah, I'll be keen to pick him up soon, I think. And any you're thinking about, mate?
Think Fafita's definitely one. As soon as
Yeah.
he started on the weekend and you watch those points climb up real quick, it was like, oh, it's Fafita time already. I hadn't been targeting too much, knew it was coming, but I thought it might be upon us this round. I think luckily he didn't play the 80 for us, and so I think you can probably sit there and watch a little bit more if you want to.
Yeah. Yeah. He
Um,
got the 65, but with his impact, he's always going to get decent points with that. If he
yeah,
can get back to 80, you've got to buy him if he's this low.
exactly. And attacking stats will come. He hasn't had that yet,
Yeah,
so um,
absolutely.
I think he's definitely there. I think that probably puts Campbell and Brimson in a pretty good spot. If you've held Brimson, probably keep at it for a little while. He's got those scores. He's going to go up a little bit, so stick through it for the next few. Um, that'd probably be the main ones. I think their outside backs are pretty set. Don't touch Jalen de Groot. I
Yeah,
nearly
it's
did
been
it
a
two
bit
weeks
painful
ago.
for the poor old Brimson owners. I do feel sorry for you a bit, but he's starting to get those attacking stats. He's not getting the base stats at the moment. I think he's going to come good. I'd hang on to.
Exactly. I think that's about it for Titans. Storm. I'm a bit keen on the Storm. They, I think,
Yeah.
have one of the better runs here, and especially being the team that they are, doesn't really matter who they're versing. But Warriors, Dolphins, and Souths, all teams that can put up a decent fight. So I don't think it'll be anything where they're blowing them off the park and you afford to spend too much time behind. But definitely there'll be points on offer. So there's a few plays that you've been targeting or keeping an eye out. Pat, he might have the goal kicking for a little while longer, I believe.
I'm thinking so. He did stop goal kicking by the end. Wishart took it over, but I think
Mm.
that's more because they were just so far in front.
Yeah. And so he come off it that he's come out and said it was a cork, I think, on his own social media that he
Oh,
had
good.
glued or
Okay.
something. So he did get rested with the
Awesome.
ice, but he said it was a cork. Probably something to monitor still because he's obviously been watching it. But if he picks up that, he's got those extra points. Who else do
I
you
think
like?
he's driving me a bit nuts at the moment, though, because he's looking great and he's getting the kicking, but the points just aren't coming. So I expect that to break soon, but I don't know if I'm going to invest in it.
Yeah. Easily just someone if you like. He explodes and then
Yeah.
does nothing. He'll score no points for 20 minutes and then
Oh, yeah.
after 21 minutes he's back on 20 and it's like what just
Yeah.
happened, and he can be very
I got a
tricky to
couple,
watch.
got a couple of names for you, brother, out of the storm. I saw Jerome Hughes come back. He didn't play the
Mm.
full minutes, but he looked amazing. And with this sort of a schedule and Humphreys down, if you got the money, I'm not hating a move on. Like he's going to come down more, so you'd have to sort of ignore that you're going to lose a bit of cash on him. But getting him before a Warriors and Dolphins matchup, I wouldn't hate that move. And the other one I'm really keeping an eye on is Stefano, man. Like he went off on the weekend, but that was without Nelson. So Nelson comes back next week, I think, from the concussion.
Yeah,
And it'll just be worth monitoring his minutes. If he sort of stays at around that sort of minute mark, I think he'll definitely be a buy.
yeah. Well, as you said, he's sort of bottomed out now, hasn't he? So if you want to make that risk, it's probably much more worth it. I think he's still a little bit dangerous. I loved him in the preseason. I think he had a game where he just exploded, looked so damaging. Um, then he's looked a little bit gross. Otherwise, since in a few of these before, he looked so good on the weekend again. And it could just be that he's building into that role. I know Storm come out normally at the start of the year and they say, like, we're not
Yeah,
buying generally anyone and just putting them in there. They need to earn their way into the team. And
exactly
um,
right.
I think hopefully if you can get another week or two out of him where he's looking
Yeah,
good, then that might be the case. Jerome Hughes,
yeah,
I was
I'd want to
keen on.
see a bit
Oh,
more,
sorry.
same as you.
Yeah, yeah, just watch a little bit more. Jerome Hughes, I was keen on though too. I just wish he probably dropped a little bit more and hadn't one more bad game. Um,
Yeah.
but
I don't know if he's gonna drop any more though. Like looking at Warriors and Dolphins, I think he's got to break even around 70 off the top of my head. And yeah, I don't know if he's gonna. But I won't spend too we will not spend too much time just on the Storm. But yeah.
yeah,
I don't know. I'm considering actually pivoting Humphreys to Jerome, which I wouldn't usually.
yeah.
But yeah, it's a tempting move.
Look, I definitely underrate him. I skipped him
Mm.
last year and look how good he was. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, I think
Italian.
yeah, exactly. And I was like, oh, he's not that good, is he? So yeah, maybe I underrate him a little bit. That bye schedule's tricky though. He's going to miss the
Oh
two
yeah.
Origin first two Origin games,
Oh,
which you kind of want
absolutely.
Jerome Hughes for. That kind
It's
of
what you want him for, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as you said, we better be nice and quick with this. Sorry for going a little bit too
Yeah.
slow. Dragons. Too easy to talk footy, isn't it?
Oh, you know it, brother. We love it. We all love it.
Yeah.
Dragons, who you thinking?
Uh, Egan, I think, is probably going to
Yeah.
be buy of the week again. I kind of wish I had done it last week, but I think I just wanted to see what that role looked like, whether it was just because of
Yeah.
injuries. Don't think his schedule's going to matter too much with that. Can
No.
pick him up, and Couchman looks amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, that
What about
schedule,
Gutho?
ooh, he goes on
I
runs
know,
like
right? I thought I'd throw a little spanner at you there because I've been looking at it going, maybe.
I think I kind of thought, and especially super coach wise, I know he's
Oh, yeah.
explosive, and this weekend especially, I was scared to watch him play Parramatta. Like that was always going to be, I think, a big game where he come out with something to prove. But outside that, he's looked really good. He looks really
Yeah.
involved in that left-hand attack, and just all attack, I guess, from St George. So I think it's if you think that role's probably upticked a little bit for him, has been a bit of a trap in past seasons, but if you think that role's changed, I've definitely been trying to put some more consideration into it this week after that last game too, and just go, there might be something there.
It does feel like a boom or bust move, though. So
Mm.
it wouldn't be for the faint of heart.
No, no. If you already want that pod play in the, I guess,
Oh, yeah.
somewhat tricky wing fullback, the cheapies did pretty well this week. But
They did.
if you want to go there, you could test it. Other than that, no one else is screaming out to me. Anyone for you?
Oh, not that I can really think of, to be honest. Couchman again, like you said. Egan worries me a little bit, only because they actually went into overtime in this game. So I'm not 100% sold that he's actually going to get that mid 40s, but he'll still be a good cash cow. I think he'll at least get mid 30s to low 40s.
And he's got the ball rolling really well at the moment. So
Yeah.
even some
Yeah.
nice
No,
high
he'll be
20s,
fine.
if that's what he's bottoming out at, he should sort of get,
Mm.
I think, 70, 80K and then just needs another good game.
Yeah, more for if you were going to play him in your actual roster.
Yes.
I'd be keen to loop him,
Mm.
but I'd be a bit iffy on playing him.
Yeah, I think Luke definitely, just to
Yeah.
make sure, because that role's not locked in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Knights. Do we think that the attack can turn around? I brought in Sharp last week and Thomas
Me too.
can't.
Me
Make
too.
sure I say that well so YouTube doesn't pick up on anything, think it's anything wrong.
Yeah.
CANT. But Cat, Cant, I was really happy with, especially getting moved out to centre. So he was what 50. And I sort of was talking to you before about who he looks like a little bit, and I thought maybe a little bit of an Angus Crichton. Just
Yeah.
picks up those meters. He seems to sort of work through 140 pretty easy, and
Yeah.
then is pretty locked in for high 30s, 40s tackles, and that's given him his 50 plus easy before any attacking stats. So that build of a player looks really good. It's just
Oh yeah.
he doesn't have that role in edge locked down for too long with Lucas coming back. I think he'll hold it this week and Frizzell will move.
Yeah.
Um, but I think you find a role there somewhere for him. As you said, someone injured for Newcastle?
Yeah. So Jacob Saifidi has torn his calf in warm-ups, and I forget what his name is, but I think he's called Knighted, and he's a bit of an sort of an insider knowledge at the Knights. And from what he's been saying on all the fantasy forums is that they're looking at actually moving Cant into the middle at rotation if sort of when Lucas comes back. So I don't know, man. I feel like Cant's sort of a no-brainer. Like just press the buy button and thank us later.
And I think you might have convinced me. I think he might need to go into both teams. If he's got something
Yeah.
locked there after, he can make tackles easy and through the middle
Oh
he'll
yeah.
get those runs too. Yes, I like it. Very big
Yep.
target for me too then.
I'm keen on him.
Anyone else or anyone you worried about? Obviously, Ponga hasn't looked too good the last two, but it's Ponga. Mm,
Not worried. I'd be hanging on to. I think that's more coming down to his role that they're trying to make him sort of get ready for Dylan Brown coming in. So I just think they've sort of changed his role a little bit, but I think it's going to swing around. Once the attack gets humming, Ponga gets humming, so do all their attacking players. And, like Marzu and Sharp and that, if you're getting sort of 38s, 39s when, in their off games, I mean, why wouldn't you want them?
I was very happy with Marzio on the weekend with that. I was a little bit worried
Oh,
there
yeah,
for a
me
while,
too.
but yeah, if he's got that offload and it seems like he's going to keep
Yeah.
it around, that's what I brought him in for. So 38 and base in a pretty bad game, I
Yeah.
was happy with. And Ponga's that up and down player. He's not
Yep.
a consistent high scorer. He will have these
No,
low games and then have
he'll
big
go
games.
massive, then he'll go sort of smaller. But I think did you notice he's doing a bit more game managing? And that's just where I sort of observed that. I was like, oh, is he, even more than, I don't know if that was because of Cogger dislocated his finger.
I
So
didn't
not
even
sure
realise
about
that.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So you get a few sort of interesting ones when you're watching the game live, but yeah, that finger looked brutal.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah, see, I was highlights for that one. I think
Yeah.
I missed the start of it. That's why I didn't know that Cant had moved
Yeah.
out for a
But
while.
I
And
am
then
I
when
am buying Knights just for their buy schedule.
I
So yeah,
already got one out of the way in round
yeah,
18, their next one now, if you have a look over
exactly.
here. So,
Yeah, sort of 15 and the first major buy round they're not in. So yeah, I'm liking them and their matchups aren't bad. Like there's a lot of green, there's a bit of yellow and there's only some orange. I think there's like what, two reds. That's it.
mm.
So
And as a
yeah, I'm
Sharkies
digging them.
man, be honest with that red. Are we a
Yeah.
red? Are Penrith a red at the moment? We're probably not. So,
I don't know. It's sort of up and down, isn't it? Like they'll be red one week and not so red the next.
yeah. Yeah, no, it's tricky. I
Yeah.
think
Yep.
Storm, Bulldogs, and then the rest of us are all tussling. I don't think there's even clear bad teams at the moment. It's very competitive. It's
It is.
hard to tip. Good to
Oh
watch.
hell yeah. Getting smashed in our tipping.
Yeah,
Oh, what are you thinking about the Warriors, mate? What are your thoughts?
two tough games. So I think if you
Mm,
can avoid, especially Metcalf, if you're holding him, he's going to be a bit tough to play over the
yeah,
next few.
definitely.
Um, we did talk about, I thought the mids might go quite well with the tackles, but as you said, there's probably a lot of tackle busters coming from Melbourne and Brisbane too. So
Yeah.
my
Well, it's
Clark
Haas.
worries
So,
me.
mm,
Yeah, I think you can hold
yeah,
off on
it's a
any
tough one.
Warriors. I
Yeah, I
think
probably would.
Bulldogs too, the same with the bye. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I wouldn't go him yet, but I know a lot of people. I started with Preston, but I know a lot
Mm.
of people are looking at him sort of post buy. I didn't mind how Jacob Carraz looked. He did a lot of offloading in that, but it did worry me that with all that offloading, he still only got like 40 odd points. So I'd want to see a couple more games from him. But yeah, I don't hate their buy schedule. It's a bit different to everybody else's. So it can be good because they're sort of not in the major buy rounds. But yeah, yeah, I'd hold off till after the buy, obviously, unless you want to loop someone.
Yeah. They do have that really interesting buy schedule to look at that there, actually, don't they? They get the major
Yeah,
ones and then they've got the two minors for the first one, but that's obviously where you only need the 13 still, so you can probably hold them quite easy, especially if a few
absolutely.
Origin players back up. So good target after the buy. And I think
Yeah,
Preston,
next
as you
week
said,
I'm digging Bulldogs next week, but
yeah,
not sure who yet because I've already got Preston and there's a couple in there that are pretty good, like Max King and that, but they sort of are what they are.
yeah,
But yeah, we'll see.
yeah, keep an eye on them. There's no one from Warriors too. I skipped over that one a bit quick for you.
Oh, nah.
No.
If you got Metcalf, I've moved him on.
hmm
I don't know if you want to hold him. Like you could loop him just in case he goes off for one of those scores, but it's while it can happen, it's fairly unlikely against Melbourne and Brisbane. Like their defense is pretty good.
They're sort of teams that have game plans for that sort of thing to make sure that
Exactly, mate.
he's not going to pop off, or even if it does start to happen.
Yep.
Uh,
They'll adjust.
yeah. Cowboys in some
Ugh.
form, aren't they?
They're doing my head in, mate. I love the Cowboys, but players that I moved on or missed are just popping off now, and it's driving me nuts. How about you?
Well, I purge you. He was in my both my early season sides, and then
Same.
I think with Laybutt at the start of the season just scared me off a little bit. I was like, he
Yeah.
probably goes out. It only takes a bad game or two, and they've got a terrible run. And he held
Yep.
through the first two, and he has just gone crazy. It's hurt.
I mean, I wouldn't be buying Cowboys right now just because they got to buy next round. But as well as they play the major buy, it's their buy schedule that's scaring me off as well. Like, but one name I will throw at you. It's a bit of an interesting little pod. Jake Clifford.
Ooh.
What the hell's going on there? Like, he just comes back in and he's averaging 60.
Yeah, I saw whoever runs the actual Q&A for the NRL Fantasy. They posted someone had asked a question and they asked about Munster to Clifford, and there's something in the social medias where they were copping a bit of flack for it. And pay off to him. That was a really good call, and he's looking
Yeah.
strong. He's got that base. He's done it before too. He can sort of
Mm,
ease off and generally struggles a little bit
yeah.
more when Cowboys struggle. So I think that's probably what scared a lot of people off. But they're looking good with him back. I
But
think
has he
Duffy's,
turned a corner? Is the
yeah,
interesting one because he's still a young player. Like, has he turned a corner? Has he sort of gained that confidence? Because like the only reason I ask is because he's a perfect pivot if you don't have extra cash from Humphreys.
Ooh,
They're around the same cost, and it's like if you really need a half, you can't. There's not many good halves out there. There's certainly not many bargains,
yeah.
and I'm like, ooh.
It's sort of they're
The
looking at,
buy next round is what's worrying, but
yeah,
yeah, I don't know. Just an interesting one.
yeah. Well, he's probably going to go up a bit of cash too, isn't he? So
Yeah.
it's not a bad
Oh,
one if you're thinking
it
about it.
could. Yeah.
Yeah,
All
definitely one to
right.
consider,
Oh,
I'd say.
no. Look who's next.
Oh,
Sorry, you para fans. At least you got a win on the weekend.
yeah, they got one. It's up from here for them.
Oh
No,
man.
Gutho will be
No,
devastated.
I'm not saying. Well, here's the only question I have with para for you is what do you do if you're a Hopgood owner?
I am a Hopgood owner. I don't know. It's that was gross. 3 points
Mm.
in 19 minutes.
Oh,
And I thought
foul.
they'd at least, if that's what he was doing, put him into the mids after that. Give him 10,
Why would you
15 minutes.
start him at hooker? I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but you got a new hooker. Test him
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. Let
Crazy.
him
What were
go
you
there.
thinking?
Well, Hopgood doesn't need a rest after 19 minutes, anyways, especially if he's made. I think he'd only made the three tackles. Maybe it was five and he had a miss or a penalty, but yeah, that was shocking. I was hoping
Do you
something
pivot
come out
off him
after he was
though?
sick.
Like he's already lost money.
I
They
think
got a buy coming up as well.
I want to give him a
Have
week.
got the best schedule.
Look at that, at least team list Tuesday. What does that look like?
That's a good call. Yeah.
Wait till maybe like the hour before if you're really stuck for trades and you consider it. But I would like to give another week and hope that they're not that silly to do it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a keeper and he's down a little bit off what we bought him for. I think it's like 20, 30K. Like
Yeah.
it's not too much. So,
Yeah. No, you're dead right. Actually, we better save a few of these for buy swap sell. We're taking a bit
oh,
too
yeah.
much time. So,
Doing a little bit
what
too
do you
much
think?
work here.
What are you thinking about the Eagles, brother? What do you think?
Eagles, that looks tough if you think Cronulla and Penrith are tough.
Then the buy.
We've been better against them. Manly's
Yeah.
normally a bit of a bogey team for Cronulla, but last few years we've been
Okay.
pretty good. Not in the best form at the moment, though, so
Yeah.
I could see that one being close. They're probably all pretty close games, really. Could
I
be
don't
pretty
think
good.
I'm taking them, honestly. Uh,
Yeah,
Not until at least
Olakau'atu's,
after the buy.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
'Cause
tricky.
there's no cheapies coming through, I don't think. Not that I've seen yet. Oh, maybe Kohler. Like he can
Oh, yeah,
score very
actually,
well at fullback.
yeah, he was one I wanted to ask you about with his 81. He's sort
High
of built,
risk.
he's done a 10, 20, 31 into 80. He's got that dual at about 350.
High risk, high reward. If you want to
Yeah,
do it, I'm not going to tell you not to because it could be one that changes your season, but I just don't like their schedule and then coming into their buy schedule.
yeah, yeah. I think,
Yeah,
like you
no,
said, there's no clear targets for Sea
no,
Eagles
no.
or
Oh,
Roosters.
what about the old
Interesting
Chookies,
team.
eh?
I got lucky with the injury gods again with fantasy, and Wong came into my team this week.
You
Um,
lucky beggar. I was gonna, and I just didn't pull the trigger. I went sharp instead of Wong.
yeah, no, I was trying to
Nice.
hold trades, and 15 minutes before the game, when I saw Cole was putting up 14, I went,
Yep.
nah, Mark's out. So
Yep.
him and Sandon Smith went, and I got Wong just in for the score, and that was beautiful. It was about three
Nice.
weeks too late, as we all think. It's fine to be
Yeah.
4 weeks too late, I think.
I think you got to grab him. Like, I think we're all sort of still put off from last year's syndrome. Whereas, Lindsay Smith's out for 6 weeks now. Put him in your team. White's too expensive for what he is now. Um, I'm going to buy him this week, and if it crashes and burns, blame me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyone
what
else
about
to
the
worry about?
schedule? What about the buy
They're
schedule? What are you thinking?
bit of a trickier one. I don't
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
up and down.
4 games by, 3 games by. Some tricky teams in there. Yeah.
It's probably an issue just because there's a buy in 4 rounds. A lot of people have too many roosters. That might be an issue. Yeah, yeah. Plan that. Plan ahead. I wouldn't want more than three in your team if you got a buy coming up in 4 rounds. Plus, I got a couple of heavy matchups. Yeah, consider that
Watch
before
out
you
for
go
it.
into it. Yeah,
And definitely
buys.
not
I'd start
Origin
planning for
players.
buys now. Like
Mm,
or at least next round. But
yeah.
yeah. Oh, what about the Panthers?
Panthers, do they turn it around? I actually think there's a few targets from Panthers. You've had Cleary and Yo drop a little bit of value, and I don't think they'll drop too much more. So,
No, I think they're bottomed out.
yeah, if you either didn't start with either of them or you traded Cleary this week and your plan was to get him back, I think Humphries is perfect pivot. It's not too much to go off him. You can down and up someone for
Yep.
him, and
And they've also got my Dolphins. I was one of the ones who was championing Cleary as captain last week, and it paid off pretty big. I'm possibly not going to change that this week either because the Finns can leak a lot of points. So, yeah, it might be one to get on.
I
Couple
think it's
try assists and line breaks, that sort of stuff could really pay off.
Cleary vengeance season, I think, too.
Yeah, yeah.
He got a cop to spray, I think, after last game. So I'd be
Bit of
scared
a
if I
bit
was
of a family
Dolphins.
brawl.
Yeah. Uh,
All right. Anyone
Tigers.
else? Yeah.
What
So
do you think?
with the Panthers though,
Oh,
we're just with their buy schedule. They're not sort of they're not in the first major buy round, which is why I think it'd be good if you don't have like to your point, Cleary and Yo. I'd probably try and get at least one of them in your team. My target would be Cleary because, he's cheaper. But if you can get both, great. If you can't, at least try to get on one of them this week.
You're not origin heavy too with that, as long
Oh,
as you
yeah.
don't have too many.
Yep, that's it.
Make sure you can carry them through.
Oh, Tigers. What are you thinking?
Just upset I didn't start with Toa. Toa.
Yeah, me
Probably
too.
butchered that.
I got
Toa.
regrets, and I can't buy
Yeah.
him now. I can't bring myself to spend that much, even though I think he's going to keep going up. I think he's going to average at least 40. I think
Yeah.
he's going to end up one of the top centers in the game over the year if he can stay healthy. But he does have that injury history as well. So getting on him now, too risky for me.
And they do have what Canterbury, Melbourne in the next two out of their three.
Mhm.
Cowboys are in a bit of form. It's
But
probably a
they
few
got
more points for
Newcastle
them.
this week. Would you captain
Oh,
May?
I'm sorry, I've gone the wrong row. I was looking at Rabbitohs there.
Oh, would you captain May though, like against Newcastle? I think he could dive over for a try. Without Jacob Saifidi, they'd be a bit light in the middle, maybe.
We were looking at some of the points for and against, and Newcastle are actually second for points
Yeah,
against
true,
them, so that could mean a lot of
true.
ball in play.
Yeah,
May's interesting then with that.
he is. He is.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people probably still going to go Haas because they'll be after the bounce back game. What I don't love about Haas is the random minutes. Like
Mm,
Madge, get it together, man. Like
yeah.
at least give him 60 minutes. I'm sorry, but Haas is awesome. Have him on the field.
Yeah. I
Uh,
think he spent too much time behind the white line a little bit too there last week. So even with the lower minutes and then that too, just it was painful. I captained him, so
brutal. Buy schedule. So they're in the major by both rounds,
yep.
which worries me as well if you're buying now. But after that, they've sort of got a run of quite juicy matchups. So if I was looking to buy a Tiger, I'd be looking after the round 15 buy if I could. Yeah.
I think if you set really on someone, I don't know who it would be. May, if you haven't got May in, so you can still get
Oh,
him.
get him in. Everybody
Yeah.
has May. You should have
Um,
May.
but
If you
yeah, for
don't have
someone,
May, what are you thinking?
yeah, come on, this is what you're here to learn. Lesson one,
That's it.
fantasy. Get
No.
Terrell May in your team.
Get Terrell May.
uh,
All right. So we got the old bunnies next. What do you
yes.
think about the old hoppy hops?
They've surprised me, so and Latrell back, they'll probably do
Mm.
reasonably well. But here we go. This is what I was talking about Bulldogs and Storm in the next two out of three. This round they probably got a good one. And then
And
there's
they're the
probably a little
walking
trigger.
wounded at the moment. Like, what do you
Mm.
got? You got Humphreys out, Walker out. Like, where do they even put Latrell now? Like, is he going to stay at center? Is he going to get that duel? If he gets that center duel, you've got to get him in your team as a center.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'd be targeting after he drops his price a fair amount, but I don't know, man. It's a tough one. The Bunnies, I want to see this week against North Queensland, who they bring in, how they look. There's a few things there. Hubner's still ticking along, so we're going all right there.
Yeah.
If you
No,
got him
he's
as
doing
a
well.
as a cheapie, because he keeps getting the minutes, they keep getting injured. So I don't even hate Hubner as a bench player. I'm going to loop him, but because you can't expect it every game. Buy rounds, they're in the first major buy, but they've got a huge split after that, and they don't have another buy until round 19. I'm
Need
not
to worry
hating
about it too
rabbits.
much. Yeah.
No, like I just wouldn't touch them at the moment because of the amount of injuries.
Yeah.
Like you want to see what that team's going to look like in a bit, but yeah, nah, that's
Keep an
that's what
eye
I'd
on
be
it. Latrell will probably bottom out soon, and
doing. Yeah, well, get
after
on
those
Latrell if
two
he
tough
bottoms out,
games, yeah,
especially if he gets that center jewel. Oh man, get on that.
absolutely.
All right,
Broncos
what about the Bronx, bud? What are you thinking?
starting to get off that easy schedule there a little bit. I don't think I'd have
Yeah,
them up near the top. Warriors are
they're
looking
in
a
the
little bit better too, and
yeah
Sydney
they're in
seem to
the
challenge.
they've got the two major buys. They've got a lot of Origin players, so I'd be a bit worried. Um,
Mm.
Reynolds isn't going to be out at all, apparently. So
Oh,
apparently the scans came back good. So that's probably not good for Reece Walsh, I'd say.
no,
Even though he's
yeah,
like getting lower and lower because like that'll be less kicking for him and that sort of thing. Yeah, I don't think there's no one really on my watch list for him. But and
No.
I don't like their buy schedule considering the amount of Origin players. Yeah,
Yeah, I think you
not a
can,
big fan.
unless you're looking at some of those Origin fill-ins. I'm trying to think if there's any of them that have bottomed out that are going to come in and play the big minutes. That's normally they're there already, aren't they? Your Pakes,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
There's not
it.
really
And I
the
was looking at
value.
Willison, but he just came in and scored 2 tries. So
Yeah,
like, you don't really want to get on him now.
yeah. And is there
But
a chance he sneaks into Origin on the little
exactly.
back, maybe 19th man or something?
Yeah, he might get in the development squad. I'm not sure. Is he? He might be. Is he a Kiwi? I can't remember. Um,
Yeah,
okay, so we got my Dolphins next. Oh,
Dolphins. Yeah, we
yeah.
got 7 minutes for three teams, and we might have to pop back in for the team checks and the tips.
Yep, yep. Sorry, boys, but we'll get through these fairly
uh,
quickly.
two people.
Dolphins, not a fan. You got Penrith and Melbourne next, and they're not playing that good a footy. The one I would give you is Katoa. So he's doing most of their work, and if you need a half and you want to pivot from Humphreys, I think Katoa's reasonable. You're going to get what you get with him. You'll get some good games, but he seems to have a fairly good floor at the moment. So, and their buy schedule's not bad either from what I've had a look at. Like they're not in most of the major buy rounds. The only
One
one that
minor,
they're in
one
is
major.
18.
Yeah,
So yeah, I don't mind Katoa. That's a shout. Herbie Farmworth, you get what you get. He's an awesome
yeah.
center, but he's also
Nice.
max price. So if you want to, you want to. What about the Sharkies, brother? I'll let you handle this one.
Sharkies, we need to get some form again. We look like world beaters for 20 minutes a game and then we fall off. And I don't know. We didn't look too bad on the weekend, to be fair. That try reminded me a little bit of the longest yard at the end where they're just
Mm,
throwing it around everywhere and they go from one side to the other and then around they go. I think I knew
that
it
did
was
look good.
coming as soon as it turned around, but
Oh yeah.
I don't mind if you're looking at a few Sharkies. As Jamie
Yep.
said, he's been talking about Nickera and he popped off for a few tries there on the weekend.
Nice. I'd
Um,
like him to get him the ball more, like Jamie said. He's breaking stuff every time he gets the ball. Why are they not feeding it to him? I don't hate their schedule either. It's the same as the Finns. So, they're only in one major buy round at like 18. Origin, do we even know if like Hines or any of them make it? Like,
no, I think we'll be pretty good for Origin.
yeah,
McInnes probably our watch, maybe.
yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
if he makes
I
it in the
don't
squad.
hate Finns. So, I mean, they've not Finns, sorry. I don't hate Sharks at all.
Yeah,
It's sort of a up and down schedule. You've got a bit of everything. No, yeah.
yeah,
If you got
no,
some decent ones.
I think they're pretty good to target if you've got anyone in mind.
Hell yeah.
AFB, if you want to take the plunge. But
Yep.
yeah, they've got the nice buy schedule, as you've said. And
Yeah.
last, probably one of the best teams. Would you
Oh
say?
yeah.
Yes,
Raiders.
Raiders.
I'm digging it. Like out of their schedules, my favorites, I've loaded up on Knights and Raiders players. I think their schedules and their buy schedules are just looking great. And I don't care if they come out as world beaters. Like they've got very high scoring players. You got like Tarpany going off. Nicholson was a great buy. Um, just horse, pick them up. They're they're going to be good for a while. Like I don't think there's any cheapies coming through. But if you want, quality bench players or you're getting an injury or something, pick up some Raiders. Like they've got a absolutely mint schedule. I think they're next by round 15.
And
Enjoy. Same as the Knights.
almost very similar to the Sharks and Dolphins, where they've got that one
Yeah,
major, one minor, but later you get through the first
exactly.
two. So you'd be happy to be carrying those guys
Yeah, and the
through
only one
the
I'd be
first squad.
looking at sort of worry for Origin would be Horse. Like I don't think any of the rest are either eligible or going
Horse.
to.
Young, maybe, too,
Oh,
if you
Young maybe.
remember.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
good point. And
he'd be a picture.
he's an underrated one. A lot of people don't talk about him. He's max price, but only 2.5% ownership when he's averaging 60 on the edge. It's strange. People just don't take him.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, he's always one. I don't know. Always feel a bit funny to look at him. He'll do well, but just a little bit funny.
He also does have a bit of grub in his game. So with all those
Yeah.
sin bins coming, I don't blame you there.
Uh,
All
I
right.
think
Any that we've missed?
no, that is it. Who would you have as your three top?
Oh, three top draws. You know what? You've turned me around on the Storm. I'm
Yeah.
going to go Storm, Knights, and Raiders. How about yourself?
I think Raiders and Storm are definitely in there. I'm tossing third up, probably for Knights or Titans.
Okay.
As
Yeah,
you
no, I
said,
don't mind Titans. Mm.
attacking players probably more so. Uh,
Mm.
but I think yeah, there's probably the opportunity for a fair few points in those Titans games too. Knights,
Yep.
I don't know. I'm just not sold on their attack. I think they can definitely bounce back, and it probably is just one or two, but yeah, they're probably
You've got to
very
see
similar
it
teams
first.
in that, aren't
Yeah.
they? Where yeah,
You've got
they
to
can
see
either
it
look
first.
yeah 50 points or
Yeah.
they're struggling. All
Or
right,
zero, like on
yeah,
the weekend.
and then
Yeah, no, fair call there, brother.
what have we got? Dolphins as an avoid,
Hmm.
and then
Yeah,
some of
I
those
wouldn't.
with buys coming up. I think where we settled, aren't we? Sort of those
Yeah,
Cowboys,
the ones
Eagles,
that have
Eagles.
sort of buys coming up and, one or two, red or orange matchups, I'd be avoiding. Just bringing into your team right now, unless they're like Siwa Wong, that you're just like, I need to get on him now before he skyrockets in price.
All right, we'll move over to the people's team now. So we finished round five with a score of 852, which is pretty good for the round.
Mm.
Uh, Overall rank 8852, so we would have climbed quite a bit with that one, I'd say. I was moving up ranks a little bit lower than that with a 40 points less, so I think that would have been a good one. I know that we brought in. Oh, no, I thought we brought in Wong. Who did we bring in this week?
Was it Couchman?
Was definitely Couchman, one of them, and White was our
Oh, yeah.
second. Ah, that's
Cool.
right, the old White and Wong debate. I remember now.
I thought
Uh,
Wong, but yeah, it is
yeah,
what it
well,
is.
chose Wong, didn't we?
Hey, this is democracy. We bow to the will of the people.
That's right. Still a good pickup. 50, can't
Yeah,
complain too much with Couchman with a 69, probably rectifies that a little bit too. So
yeah. Plus,
definitely
with
make
Lindsay out for what, 6 weeks, White'll score well.
he's probably still a target, isn't he? He's that going to be the one that I've missed this year.
Oh, that's 600, maybe. There's just so many good targets, but I do like the middle edge, same as Couch.
That duel's definitely handy, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
We go down. Bench did quite well, 46 being our lowest score. We've only missed out on Purdue there, which I think a
nice.
few people probably would have. Could be worse. You could have missed out on him altogether. So take it. If he's on your emergencies, I would have been happy with it. But team's looking pretty good this week. Is there any glaring, other than Mr. Humphreys, fixes that we need to make that you can see, Nath?
I'm not seeing any, mate. And Cole's sort of maxed out. I'd
Yeah.
probably move him on to, maybe Egan for another cow, or like 'cause you already got Katoga, and that's a Katoka. Is that a Q? I've been calling him Katoga.
Uh, don't
My
know if
bad.
it's just cut off, possibly. It might
Oh,
be a G. I have a fit. Yeah, look, Hall's
I
right.
think it
Up the
could be
top's a
cut
bit
off.
funny.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. It is
Yeah,
Katoga.
he's
Oof.
definitely not a Q.
Yeah, I was like, that's a wild name, but yeah, I've seen a
Yeah.
few.
Uh,
No, I don't think so, man. Just maybe Cole and Humph. Um, I mean, we're going to need a half. Any ideas?
Clifford. And he's only got the 1 week before the bye.
What kind of cash
Um,
we got?
can't see from here. I've only got us in the
Oh,
private
damn.
group rankings. We'll have to check that one. Jamie
Yeah,
might
we'll
chuck
check
it
it
in the
later.
comments for us. He'll post it in the private group for sure and let us know what we're working
Sweet.
with. But just a few quick ideas. Obviously, we'll put it all up and see where we're
Yeah.
going. But as long as those rankings are going up, that's what we want to see.
I mean,
Uh,
frankly, I'd probably just chuck Munster in and, trade Humph and Cole for the best two that we can get. Maybe another cashy like Egan and I don't know, maybe Wong.
mm. We also have, rather than
Oh, actually, I wouldn't mind can't.
maybe,
Can't.
yes.
Which way are we going? Got to be careful. Old YouTube might pick it up the other way.
Yeah, that's it. It's gonna,
See,
looks like it's there just for a trap for someone.
you want to be careful about the old CU in the Northern Territory.
Yes. Well, there's also the option that we could loop him. We've got no Bulldogs in there, so
Oh,
or at least
yeah.
hang on to it, loop someone early, see
Yeah.
how that goes, and see whether
That's
we
a
keep
lot of
him.
cash to be using a looper. I don't
Yeah,
know.
he's a lot.
But do we really need anyone else, like you said? Everything's scoring so well.
Mm.
Hmm.
See what the news is. We'll
Don't
see
know.
what
Let's leave it to the
Thursday.
group.
Yes. Let's go into our teams where we can make some more definitive choices. So we'll start
Yeah.
off with yours. So I asked Nathan at the start of this where his rank was, and he said 107. So I started going through the private group thinking he meant 107 in that. But no, here he is overall 107. So how you feeling?
I'm on cloud nine, brother. I've never been this high in my life. And I'm just going to give a massive shout out to the group and to Jamie. Like, it has been so helpful being in the VIPs and just soaking it up, all the knowledge, but even in just the usual chat groups. Everyone's just so welcoming and really, giving a lot of advice. They'll even private message you about certain trades and stuff if you're really struggling. So yeah, no, it's been great.
Yeah.
Loving it.
That's definitely probably one of the biggest things about that private group, isn't it? Is just how big the community is. And it's not just always about asking Jamie. We've got so many people in there that do
Yeah.
well,
Oh, definitely.
and even offer some different opinions and really let you make that decision for yourself. But
And they
just
don't
with,
jump down your throat on everything
yes,
like a lot of other fantasy chats. Oh man, some of
absolutely.
those have been so toxic, and I'm just like, nah, I got no time for
Yeah.
that.
Everyone's always in trouble with looping questions at the start of the
Oh,
year. Yeah,
looping. Looping
here
is
come out.
once you get it, you get it. But
Yeah.
getting it, oh man, I'm with you. It's like it was a pain in the ass to figure out. And then you realize how simple it is
Yeah.
once you get it.
Yeah.
But until you do, it feels like a mountain.
Little trial and error, I've always found. You sort
Yeah,
of pick one and then learn with that, and then you'll make the mistake, and someone will lock out a bit early, and then you'll go, ah, I understand what you mean now, but this player needs to play before you looper. And yeah, it makes
that's
sense
it.
by making the mistake. So have a go at it, stick with it. What are
Yeah,
you thinking
you'll
with the
get it.
squad?
I'm loving where I'm at, to be honest. Like, there's a couple things I missed. The big mistake I made was I took Nicholson and traded in Nicholson and Starling instead of taking Haas and Wong. So I'm still recovering from that, but we're doing okay. We're doing okay. I traded in Cant last week, so I'm pretty good there. Got to find a replacement for Humphreys, but I'm thinking I just chuck Campbell up into the halves because I can put, I think it was Jenkins. I mean, even
Yes.
Iongi's doing quite well now, but I trust Jenkins a bit more. He's got a decent matchup, and he's not actually scoring tries or anything. So like, he's getting that mostly out of base. So yeah, I trust him enough to chuck him up there. There's no glaring needs except for sort of Humphrey Cole, same as our, the group chat, and I'm probably going to go the same as I suggested. I'll probably drop Cole down to maybe Katoga, just because I don't have that much sort of good centre depth, and put him
Yeah.
in instead of Tamale. But Tamale's got a juicy matchup this weekend, so I'll probably loop Tamale anyway because I've got a couple of loopers. I did a little strategy. It's different, and you know what? A lot of the pros are going to tell you that it's terrible, but it has been great for me. I brought in a player that I knew was, if they were going to play at all this season, it would be late in the year. So I've got a looper every week. I don't have to worry about who's on bye or whatnot. And it's been amazing because it really does bring in, like, it's the difference sometimes between a 16, a 20, a 15, a 20, or like a 40 or a 50. So while, I understand the negatives in it with cash gen, and I understand that could come back to bite me later on, I think like my team's worth 12 mil now, so I'm not on poverty's doorstep, not yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
Money
I'll,
will
I'll
come
probably
easy
just
still.
I'll probably
Yeah.
go, Cole to Katoga and probably throw Humphreys out and finally chuck in Wong because he's doing my head in. I just hate
Yeah.
seeing him score all these great scores not on my team.
Yeah, yeah. No, he's
Yeah.
tricky to watch, especially if you don't have him. As I said, I was pretty lucky with him this week, and just had the injuries to pick him up.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
So we'll flick over to mine then. We'll have a quick look at that before we go on to
Yeah,
the
I want to see
tips.
this bad boy. What's Heath rocking?
So I get a few back. I had Fisher Harris and Clark through the bye there. That was why I ended up picking up Wong. So Mark Nawanga was out sort
Wow,
of late.
you done.
Wasn't too bad. Took
Nice.
two goes, but no, I've practiced that one a few times in case he come up. I was like, I can't just keep calling him Mark. But yeah, with him being out and then Cole posting the 14, I was a bit stuck. So I brought in Wong and Riley Smith late for Mark and Sandon Smith. And that worked out very well for me. Didn't look good in the first 10
Nice.
minutes when Sandon Smith went over, but pretty happy with it. Up ranks again. So I've just slowly come in from I think about 29,000 at the first round, and each round I've gone up a little bit, sort of halved it down a little each time. So pretty happy with it so far. Obviously, I've got now. I think my two considerations would be Humphreys, possibly Hopgood or Cole. So quite similar to you.
Okay.
I don't mind Isaiah Yo at the moment. I think he's probably bottomed out, so I
I
wouldn't
think he
mind getting
has.
him in there, but I am very mid-heavy for Origin forwards. And so that's
Mm.
sort of the reasoning behind I think Clark and Fisher Harris. I want them to stick around probably as long as I can because I think they're good for the first two
Yeah.
buys. So
What
it's a bit
about
of coverage.
Coward? You know, he's
Oh,
got that mid edge. He's scoring pretty well.
yes.
Any interest there? Probably won't play Origin. Like I don't development squad. No,
As of
no, I
this
don't
week,
think he will.
as of now, we've seen four games and we've got the three
Mm.
with the big minutes, and it just seems like there was the one with lower ones.
Yeah,
I rate him. And I think like
I
he's
do
got
too.
those minutes there still. And as you said, that duel,
Yeah,
you can go a little bit lower, I think, with the edges, that little average, especially now because there is that origin difficulty for normally your high
yeah.
scorers like Crichton and Fafita and maybe not Wong. He might be up there this year. um, but yeah, he's
That's
definitely someone I could consider
yeah.
too.
Yeah, I'm really annoyed because I actually championed him all off season, and you know even Jamie was saying to me, and I think it was Mitch, were both saying, yeah, no, really keen if he gets the starting role, and I take him out of my team. I'm like, I'm like, what are you doing?
Uh,
But I put Horse in, so it wasn't too bad after all.
Yeah, those changes at the start of the season where you're not taking them out because you don't like them, but you just need to squeeze someone else in somewhere else and
Yeah,
just shave a bit of cash. And yeah, they
yeah.
always hurt a bit more to watch those players do well, don't they?
Oh, they do. But he's just got such a good PPM that if he can get the minutes like he has been, dual position, I think he's going to be pretty good over Origin.
Mm.
They don't have a terrible buy schedule. Like they're not one of the ones that I'm actively avoiding. Yeah, yeah, I rate him.
It's probably definitely a good option at a cheaper price too. Could score very
Mm,
similar,
bit of a
especially
cut
if he's going
price.
to play those games. He probably gets me more points overall. So may have swayed me there. We'll have
Or
a look.
just be a bit wary though. They did go into overtime, and he did pick up a few of those extra points in the overtime.
Yes, yeah, but he's got a few
But yeah,
games there before too without it that he's done it.
he
So
has. Yeah, I
yeah.
rate him, and I'm sort of tossing up between him and Wong myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with either.
He looks better than Hopgood at the moment, that's for sure.
Oh, poor Hopper, man. He's such a good player. Riles, can you just use him?
Yeah,
From my area too. Like he used to play in the same comp, and I got friends that are friends with him. The dude is an amazing player.
yeah.
Why is he not using him?
What a
I don't
waste. As
understand it.
Jamie said, if you own him, you'd be filthy. I was
Oh,
filthy. It was just, I thought the app was broken. I'll be honest. I was like, what's going on here? But
there
no,
just doesn't seem any
unfortunately.
rhyme or reason to it. Is what bothering me. But I mean, I'm not an NRL coach. I'm just some fantasy bloke.
Yeah, and there's probably something to it, but
Yeah, yeah.
I think we can.
No, you
They
like them
won.
where you are though at the moment.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with
Yeah.
it. I would have been much happier having held the trades the last, so that would have banked me three. I think
Mm.
if I was sort of sitting at around 3K, but I don't think I would have got there without Wong. So I
No.
think it'll definitely work for me. I'm happy that I've got him in now, like 80K price rise, I think it was. So he'll sit there. He bolsters up my sort of forwards up top for Origin time, and it was a great week for the cheapy backs. So I got away
What
with one
about
there.
Hopgood to Cant?
And that Banks, yeah,
Banks a fair
150
chunk.
or so, and then
Yeah.
Humphreys up.
Well, yeah, I was thinking maybe hump up if it gives you enough, maybe up to like Fogs or something, someone who's, really decent. I mean, Katoa's a bit of a pod and he's been doing quite well, but he's on a side that's not scoring that well. So hit and miss. Fogs has, like I said, with the Canberra players, man, like, three of them's fine. They've got the great buy schedule. They've got a pretty awesome matchups. Something to consider.
Yeah, I've only got two there that I'm carrying as well too. So
Mm. Yeah, no, it might set you up.
yeah,
But
I'll
yeah,
have a think about it for sure. We better go over to the tips, see
love it.
what whether anyone wants to listen to us. So as I said,
Sorry, guys.
not doing too well this year. I have done previously, but
Yep,
it's just been tough. I do generally like about round five. It feels like form starts to settle a little bit. You've got that nice sample size, and the teams that maybe have just won two that were a bit easier, than looked high on the ladder that probably didn't deserve
yep,
to be there, start to sort of come back a little bit. So
yep. How
hopefully
are
we
the
can.
Panthers 15th?
Oh,
Wow,
how are they
beyond
favourites?
me.
Up the fins.
You know, what, I'll do a tip for you. Here's a wild tip, and you can hold me to it for the end of the year. I think they still make the eight.
Two Panthers.
Yeah,
You
from
still backing them?
15. Yep,
Yeah.
I reckon they'll just sneak into the eight. I reckon they'll go on a run. But anyways, we'll see.
Yeah, Origin will be interesting for them this year
Mm,
with it being so much more important. I think they've definitely got the talent there. It's just,
yeah,
yeah, don't leave it too late.
yeah.
We know it can get them. But who are we
You're going to
taking?
back them against my Finns?
Well, that's what I thought. Have you got enough faith in your Finns to go on? They did win last week. I don't think so. I think
Oh,
I'd take Panthers.
it's at Suncorp. It's my Finns. I can't do it. Like, if we're backing tips to who we think we're actually going to win, I think the Panthers are going to come out. Cleary's going to be on an absolute revenge mission from last week. Like to him, he's going to be thinking that he screwed up Yo's 250th. I think he's going to come out and just go ballistic, which is why I'm really tempted to captain him again, especially against our leaky forwards and defense. I'm like, oh, it could be a dream. But yeah, no, Panthers should win that and convincingly, I'd say.
Not the week to back against him. That doesn't mean the form says otherwise, but things
Yeah.
haven't been great either. So I think, yeah, we can back him in. Oh,
Ooh,
we don't
here's
need
an
a close
interesting
look.
one.
The St. George Illawarra Dragons versus the Titans.
It's in Wollongong.
Lean towards Dragons.
Really? I
Yeah,
don't
pretty
know.
solidly, I think too.
Just the they just got beat by Para.
I know NRL maths isn't quite adding up. I know as a Sharks fan because we're the only team that's lost to Panthers. So we're
Mm,
really like one of the worst teams. It just doesn't seem right.
yeah,
I don't know. Dragons have looked really good. They've lost a
they
few
have.
close ones as well too when they have lost.
Yeah.
So Bunnies, I think, was what 1 or 2 points. So I think Dragons will be just a bit too overpowering for the Titans. Unless
You
Titans
know,
get that
yeah,
very quick start,
yeah.
that they can come out and sort of surprise teams. I think Dragons should go over the top. They're looking good this year. I think they're
I
a
wouldn't
top
be
eight team.
surprised on the Dragon, especially at home. But I'm going to back an upset.
Yeah,
I mean, it shouldn't be an upset because it's 8 versus 12, but according to the betting, it's an upset. I'm going to back the Titans. I got this weird feeling for Fifita's going to have one of his ballistic games and just run rampant.
he's
But
due for one.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I could easily see St. George sort of. I don't see this. I don't know. I don't see it being a close one. I think whoever gets it will get it decent. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, I tend to agree. I reckon, yeah, it'll be a quick Titans
Yeah.
blowout or Dragons hold them off
Yeah.
early and then just run away with it.
Yeah. What do you think, Broncos or Roosters? It's at Suncorp.
Yeah, Broncos. I think Roosters might put up a bit more of a fight than
Yeah.
odds might suggest. But yeah, we've got to take Broncos.
Nah.
They're looking really
Yeah.
good. They're probably Well, they're second on the ladder. I'd say third in form team behind probably Doggies and Melbourne. So yeah, take
Their
them.
defense is so good too.
Yeah,
Yep. No, Broncos all day. I think they'll 13 plus them.
yeah. Sharkies and Sea Eagles. Who are you backing in this
Ooh.
one?
I'm going to leave this one to you because I think you got more of an insider knowledge on this one.
Yes, Manly for years have been a bogey team for Cronulla. We
Oh,
absolutely suck against them. They're one of our rivals, and I think probably if you go back a couple of years ago, it was like a high 60% win rate that they had against us, and some of those were
wow.
worse at their home grounds. Last five or six, though, Sharkies have sort of seemed to make a bit of a point to make sure we beat them. Haven't been in the best form, so I do think it'll probably be quite a close game.
Okay.
I do think Sharks probably have the talent to get over them, especially at home. So
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a good argument. Is Optus Stadium, is that home
hang on,
game for you guys?
is that Perth?
Optus Stadium, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Isn't it Shark Park and Brookie?
Yeah, that might be one of our neutral travel away ones. Just
Okay. Does that change your mind on anything or
I don't think we do well when we travel away, so possibly.
okay?
Here we go.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm still backing them. I think Sharkies. I think Manly's had some injuries, and I think the Cherry Evans drama is getting in their heads. I think it's sort
Nice.
of, if I had to say, I feel like there's two camps. I think it's like the Travojevic brothers and the Manly loyalists, and like the people that just sort of play for the cash in their contracts are like backing sort of Cherry.
Yeah. Yeah. You
So
imagine it'd be
yeah,
very interesting there. There's
yeah.
very die-hard team too, as you said, the
Oh yeah.
loyalist in there. They'd be very strong on it. So
Yeah, but I can't stand them, so I'm going Sharks. Sorry, you
yeah,
Manly fans.
as a Sharkies fan, I totally agree. I'm sure the
Yeah,
father-in-law
Roosters
would
and
hate me.
Manly, not a fan.
Yeah. Oh, this is
But
actually
I'm a
quite an
Queenslander,
interesting
so
one.
go.
Surprisingly,
Yeah.
I had these two teams probably pegged bottom four at the start of the year.
Yeah. Rabbits, I don't know how they keep doing it. They just
Mm.
keep finding a way to. I'm calling it the Bennett effect because it's the opposite on the Finns. Do you think they can get it with both their halves out, though?
Probably the big concern. Who do they play there?
Mm.
Does Whiten come in with Latrell? Who they have Latrell and um, who have they got coming off the bench for him?
Mm, let me
Oh,
think.
Tigers player. I've completely forgotten his name now.
Oh,
Whether
yeah,
he
no,
jumps
it's
in.
not coming to me.
Yeah.
Cowboys are hitting some form, though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's tough.
they have looked good. I'll stick with the Bennett effect. I think
Yeah,
Rabbits
okay.
get up. Yeah.
Mm.
Strel look good. I think he'll come back with
He
another
did
one.
look good.
Yeah.
He did look really good. But who comes in at the halves? Like, if I knew who came in at the halves, I'd probably have a bit more confidence. But I don't know. Cowboys are playing good footy. I think they could sneak it. It is an away game for them, though, isn't it? That's weird. I thought it was a home game. Why do they all say Optus Stadium? Heaps of them say Optus Stadium.
Where would we got to double it up
Oh,
to
so they must be
stadium?
like double headers that they're having.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
obviously not too die-hard Sharkies fan. I haven't kept up with where we're playing this week, but
I wonder
yeah,
if
it's
Optus
not bad.
Stadium is the new name for the Cowboys Stadium. Because I swear they were playing up north this week, and if it's up north, I'm backing the Cowboys all day because that
Uh,
humidity up there at the moment is brutal.
Western Australia, over in Perth.
Oh, it's in Perth. I don't know
Yeah.
what the
So
weather's
it's pretty
like over
neutral.
there. Yeah, but it can be pretty hot.
Yeah. So no
I don't
home
know.
ground
I'm going to
benefit.
go Cowboys for the upset, but I wouldn't be surprised. The Bunnies are all sort of just they're that team that just keeps defying the odds. So yeah, flip a coin.
Yeah, it's definitely a tricky one.
Heck yeah. Eels
Eels.
Raiders.
Can Eels do it again?
Nah, I'm backing Raiders all day.
Yeah.
Oh, that one's in Darwin though. So who's better in the heat, Raiders or Eels? Hmm. I mean,
Raiders are probably
Raiders,
more cold, aren't they?
yeah, more cold weather. I don't know. I'm still backing the Raiders, but I'm less confident in the heat.
It makes it a bit more 50-50. I find, at the neutral
Hmm.
grounds. Like, Who's travelled best? Who's had the least amount of time off?
Yeah.
I think
And
it's
the Eels
Tippy
did
Raiders still.
they looked hungry on the weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm still going to
Tippy's
go the
Tippy.
Raiders, but not as confident as I was. Now I know where they're playing.
Yeah,
Darwin is hot, like hotter than the humidity mainly, especially. It's crazy up there.
die hard Eels loyalist. If you want to tip them, he won't call you crazy.
No, not at all.
No.
And actually might be a half decent punt for those odds. Not condoning gambling. Gamble responsibly.
This one I think is very
Ooh,
different. I know there's a lot of Wars fans out there, but there was
I love
something.
the Wars. I love
They look
them.
good.
They played in Redcliffe for ages. They're just such good dudes as well.
Yeah,
I just don't think they can put it over the Storm at home.
n- not
I
with how
hope
good
they
they
do.
look. Well, did you see that Joey had called him a bogey team for him, and then someone on
Mm.
social media had basically put up their last 15 games, and it is 15 zip to Storm. So
Yeah, what was
yeah,
he talking about?
yeah. And
I never
after I
listen to
saw
anything
that,
Joey says.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, no,
definitely,
I think Storm gets it done, especially at home. If it was Warriors at home, I might think twice, but nah,
yeah,
I think the Wars will get lifted. Sorry, guys.
yeah.
I'll still be cheering for
Yeah.
them.
I'd love to see Wires. I like in the heart. I'll be going for the Wires. Tipping Wires. I'm gonna have to tip
Yeah.
the Storm. Sorry.
I swear the
Uh,
Wars are like the people's team. It's just
absolutely.
it's like
Yeah.
if your team's not playing, you back the Wars.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know how anyone could not like them. They have such a great fan base too.
They
Like I'm
do.
jealous. I'll put it
Oh,
as a Sharks fan. Got us covered easily. We're pretty good, but nah,
I
those
think they're the
Wires are
best fan
insane.
base in league. And
Yeah.
I know that's a big call, but if they're not the best, they're one off. I think they're the best.
I think Bunnies have
And
been the most upset at
their
us so
signs
much.
crack me up every week.
Yeah. Absolutely. So much fun. They're so loud.
Oh yeah.
Like I'd love to go to a
All
Wires
right.
home game.
Ooh, this is a tough one. Who are you thinking? It's in Newcastle.
Yes, some of the best defensive teams. Tigers are up there, not at second.
Mm,
Not the greatest attackers. Could be quite low scoring. You watch it
interesting.
be
So
over
it could be good
60
for their
points.
forwards too. I don't know. Um,
Yeah.
I'm going to back the hometown advantage, and I'm going to go with the Knights. Is Luai back? I think he's back. He only got a one match, I think.
It was
Did he get one or
injury, wasn't it?
two? Oh, was it injury? I thought he got a one match
I think he
ban.
might
No,
have
you
had
could
the
be right.
injury concern as well, maybe with a ban.
Okay.
So it was sort of going to cover
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Um,
no, I'm going with Knights for the bounce back because they're going to be a bit cranky about the 20 nil. They put in a magnificent effort in defence though to keep that at only 20, considering they only had like 15 players for most of the game. Yeah. No, I'm backing the Knights. What do you reckon, Heathy?
I think I'll take the Knights. It's a pretty close
Oh,
one, as you
really?
said.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
think I'll
thought you
take
might have
Knights
gone the
too.
Tigers. Yep.
Nah,
Okay.
Newcastle, pretty solid home ground. I
They
think
are.
they're good. So like, it's tough to go up there and play them there. So
Yeah. Another good fan base too. I like the
yes,
Knights fan base. They get right into it.
yeah.
I've seen a few home games there. It's good fun.
No, I've got quite a few mates that are Newcastle supporters. That's probably the
Oh,
most
nice.
popular
Me
amongst
too.
us. So yeah,
There you go.
Andrew John's era kids, I think. So
Yep, that makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah,
a few of them grew
he
up
was
watching
sort
him.
of a New South Wales goat back then. We didn't like him much up here.
Yeah, we all liked him down here.
Yeah, he could play. The man could
Uh,
play.
Well, that's it. We've made it to the end finally. If you've stuck around, thank you. We know we can tend to talk football, but hopefully it's something
Yeah.
different and something that you've enjoyed. Let us know in the comments what you
Yeah,
thought.
give us a like if you can. A subscription is even better because Jamie does a heck of a great job on these things, and well, you won't see our ugly mugs every time.
No, that's right. It's good to help him out any way we can. He
Yeah,
does so much to have put all this together. As we
yeah,
said,
he
that
does.
private group there too, not just for him, but having everyone sort of to access in there, would absolutely recommend. That's put my ranks
Yeah,
through the roof as I've come across sort of watching these videos and moving into it. I was
yeah.
a 20,000 ranked player sort of a couple of years ago, so moved
Same,
up.
same. And
Yeah.
I'm looking at what 107 at the moment. Like I may not stay there, but I put a hell of a lot of that on Jamie and the sort of group. It's been great.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's everyone here that sort of chips in and just
Yeah.
listening to it. Maybe not us, as we said. We're still
Don't
getting there.
listen to
Maybe
us.
we've just fluked a year, but yeah, hopefully we've got something that we can offer you too, and sort of how we got here and sort of the things that we look at and think about with these sorts of decisions. And if there's
Absolutely. And absolute good luck to everyone this week. I want to see some big scores.
post them in the comments. If you miss Jamie, let
Yeah.
him know in the comments below. I'm sure he'd love to miss it. And we shall see you next week, guys.
All right. Catch you around, legends.